Hello, welcome in. We're going to do junk journals today. Hi, welcome in. I'm doing junk journals today. I'm taking part in the Junk Journal Jamboree. So we're going to go through some of my handmade journals. And I'm going to go ahead and get the first giveaway pinned. If you would please take a look at the bin, take a look at the auction. And if you don't know what junk journals are, well, that's what I'm here to tell you. So let's see. Why won't it let me pin that giveaway? Product actions. Let me try this again. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're waiting. Yeah. Hi, Lindsay. How are you? Yes, it is so fun. It's addictively fun. And we are going to have Pretty Corn coming over in just a few minutes. She's finishing up her Sassy Saucy Women's Day Jamboree. Mine's going to be a little bit more classic. And let's see, now that I refreshed things, there we go. So, whether you are a fan of junk journals or not, everybody loves jumbo paper clips, and I managed to score quite a few. So, check out how big these paper clips are. They're the size of a telephone almost, jumbo paper clips. So, that's the giveaway for right now. And if you would please go ahead and enter that giveaway. And then we're gonna it is terribly addicting, Lindsay, terribly addicting, and it kind of took over my living room, dining room, and kitchen. So it was time for me to do one of these junk journal shows so that I could start to cull or de-stash, as they like to say. I have this really great set of cards in the auction a little bit later today. These I love because they're pretty much plain on the back, and it can be hard to find ones that are plain. Obviously, they do say Delta Airlines, but a lot of people turn these into like artist trading cards and such. So, yay! Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Thank you, Pretty Corn, for your super sassy show. That was fun. I love some of those handmade items that you created. And so if you're not already following Pretty Corn, please, everybody, pop on over to her page and give it a follow. And then we're going to head over to Penguin Boss in about an hour. And of course, all the thanks to Abstractory for organizing the raid train. The theme for this one is International Women's Day. And so we're supposed to think about, the women in our lives or the people that have influenced us. And I just wanted to say, I know a lot of people have talked about their moms and sisters and teachers and such. And I was a teacher because my mom is a teacher and my grandmother worked in school. And if you haven't already, enter that giveaway. And so I have to say that they certainly have influenced me. But over the last few months, I have to say that YouTube has really influenced me the most. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the different artists. And then you'll see that there are women featured in each of the two journals that I'm going to work on, that I'm going to list, or that I have listed, that I'm going to show today. So when we talk about women, we often think about our teachers. And I have to say, when I do my junk journal shows, I love teaching how I've done what I've done, and I love watching YouTube and learning new things. So you'll see over here, this is the Chindi rug that I talked about in my last junk journal show. This is what's left of the blue section, and if I get a chance, I'll show you the actual rug. But for this little folio, this is the first one that I'm going to run. I'm going to run it for 5 minutes so that gives me time to talk about it and to also catch up on the chat. Lindsay, there are so many talented creators on there, and so many of them are international. I love to listen to the women from Ireland and Great Britain and from Australia. Those are my favorites because their accent just kind of lulls me. And they have some incredible ideas. So if you haven't visited YouTube and typed in junk journal, you need to do so because there are so many great women, international women out there that are introducing this concept to a wider audience, and they've made a living out of it. So I took a blue folder, file folder, and I had these 3 really great pages that I wanted to create a journal for. They are like a watercolor picture of women. And so this one with the cat eyes, I started to kind of base the journal off of her and the other 2 you'll see. And whenever I kind of am inspired by a certain image, then I take that image and try to find corresponding or similar papers. But they're all junk. So here's another one. So I had these 3 papers. They're totally random pages. I did not take these, I don't think, out of a book. A lot of my pages I do, but these I feel like I found as part of some other ephemera or somebody's sewing pattern, something along those lines. So there are 3 different signatures, and each one of them has a different woman that's featured. And I really am drawn to the vintage pages. Let me see if I can find her portrait here. And so that's the backside. That one was Joyce Landorf. And so I surround those signatures and those images with other vintage pages. So let's see, this one, Sweet and Sour Ribs. There she is. That one is Evelyn Roberts. The winner of the giveaway is Kathy P. Kathy P, you're going to get this jumbo paperclip. Look at that jumbo paperclip. And then I have a few, I think, in the buy now if anybody wants to buy one and gift it to the chat. So thank you for the $2 bid to start. But here's what we've got. We've got the 3 different signatures, and sometimes I sew my signatures in, but in this instance, I actually just tied them in. And one of the reasons that I do that is because when it's still kind of a work in progress, I find that it's easier to be able to put papers in or take papers out when they're just kind of either using elastic or a simple tie like that on the side. So here we go, quick flip through. Beginning page, I just threw one little fun piece of older recipe ephemera. There's plenty of room for more ephemera. This paper is like the kind that you find at a diner, and then obviously some music paper. This is a greeting card that I took the inside out of. And I love that color. I couldn't quite decide which color. This is the only embellishment that I did for this journal, where you can tuck this little postcard or a photo or anything else. As you can see, I used some doilies and then lots and lots of vintage pages from children's books. I used kind of blue as a theme to carry through, but really thinking about women and, what it was like when they did some of these handicrafts back in the 1800s, 1900s, and then even all the way up until when I was born in the 70s. I'm drawn to the papers and kind of putting them all together. Like I said, I love the cat eyes there, and the cat eyes obviously on her portrait. And then the feel of the paper when it's out of a recipe book. And then some of the notebook paper will also have a vintage patina to it. That little guy's cute, but I really pulled this image today to create, I like a nice kind of centerfold. I've never seen this Picasso image before. Tell me if you have. Let me turn it this way. But this is Picasso's mother and his first steps. I don't remember where it said that this image is, but in tearing these books apart, I learned so much. I've become my own teacher. I learned so much about art and history, and not as much about science and math, though I do like those books as well. And then this is the second side of all of those pages. So that woman was Rosalind Rinker. I haven't looked her up. In my next journal, I will show you that I did. And then a little catalog of shaker furniture. 20 seconds if you want to get in on the bid here. There's so many great papers, portraits. The Lion in the Blue is where I pulled that cat eye image. This was me experimenting with printing. But you can see my love is of paper and finding all kinds of gorgeous papers that kind of fit that theme. Oh, thank you for purchasing those books. I will show those to you if we have time at the end. Here's another great image. Yay, Tara! Are you a Tara or a Tara? because this is coming home to you. This is a Braille page, and I do have this one I bought on Whatnot, and I cut it to fit. And then this is from Rachel Carson. I'm pretty sure. I think it's Rachel Carson. Again, just experimenting with printouts. And so I'm very excited that this is headed home with you. These are beautiful papers. And I want to say for this journal, this one's more of a folio. And any of the others, you are more than welcome to tear it to pieces. Whether you use the pieces to help inspire your own art, or if you just want to get your frustration out and tear a book apart, tear a journal apart, if you saw two papers in there that you have to have, I tear books apart now for fun. I really do. And then I try to repurpose each and every piece of that book, because I'm learning about the different weights of paper. And this is from a rug, like I said, that I tore apart. So let me go ahead and get just a couple supplies going. So this was a button that I added, and you can tie that off. I'll fuss with that later and get it sent off to you. I always type Sarah, like Tara, like Sarah. But then I actually had somebody once say, oh, like Sarah. And I was like, who? I've never met a Sarah before. So here's the rug, guys. I really do enjoy, as much as selling, teaching people how to do some of the things. And I don't quite, I mean, I have a YouTube channel, but I haven't put anything on that channel other than these Whatnot videos, because they can go up there automatically. I got this rug at Five Below, and it was a YouTube, actually a Facebook hint that told me to do that. And you can see where I've started to tear it apart. And I'm slowly unthreading it. And look at all of these beautiful threads. You guys, I mean, this is junk gold for us. And then and I'll maybe do another like walkthrough of this during a different show. But these are all of this is called chindi, and it's the leftover fabrics from fabric production, or garment production, I should say. And so you never know what you're going to get. It's just the leftover. So I looked at the edge of all of the different rugs, and I tried to choose the one that had the most blues in it, since I'm drawn mostly to blues. But then look, this is just like, I don't know, maybe 10 rows. It takes a long time. So you got to do it in front of the TV or the movie, or sitting out in the backyard. And most of them, I have to say, are really just this kind of woven cotton um, that is torn around the edges perfectly for putting things together. But every now and then you get some of these that have a little bit more texture or color or silver. Mostly Indian fabrics. I believe these are all made in India. This one is almost like a crushed velvet. So look at this huge box. I know it's kind of hard to see. Huge box that I got just from doing a few rows of blue. I'm not even all the way through the blues. Look, I've started to get to like the blues and the greens. And then I quick switched and flipped it around to do the other side of the rug, so that I can get some reds to go with this journal. So I'm going to do this one next, but let me go ahead and grab, let's see, a couple of these. So I wanted to start just a few auctions to kind of keep things rolling and maybe make a little bit of money to fuel my habit. So here's some of the junk journal supplies that I put in the auction and or the bin. Here's the first one. So this is Braille paper that came out of, it's actually a music book that was spiral bound. And all of this information is about orchestra and music instruments. So if anybody wants to get some Braille paper and start a bundle, I did really low shipping on all of them. So 20 seconds on the clock and dollar start. 2 pieces of vintage Braille paper to get your journal started. So Retired Kathy, somebody on either YouTube or on Facebook, did it first, and then I watched a YouTube video about it, and I ran to Five Below to get one, because the rugs are only $5 at Five Below, and I had already purchased 2 of those rugs because I like them as they are. They're bright, colorful rugs, but they had gotten rained on and left outside, so I think we tossed them. But this new one, it's going to take me forever to take it apart. Now you can cut it quickly, but I don't think that's as much fun as taking the time to do it slowly, methodically, and trying to keep all of those strings intact, because I'm using those strings. All right, here's another just kind of junk journal supplies like I said, just to keep things going. I showed these just before the raid came in. These are Delta Airlines cards. You can see that one has a crease, but they have this nice patina on the side. And there's all 52, actually 54 cards. It has the jokers included. So these all have the nice vintage patina to them. And I love that they're white on the back because that lends itself well. Thank you, Tara, to being able to Mod Podge over the top of them and such. So adding that to the stash. And then I wanted to start to show this next one so you can see I used, instead of sewing in the signatures, I used a different piece of chindi fabric to tie the signatures in. And then I used one more piece of chindi fabric to tie all of the signature ties together. And so this one actually has a closure that is just tape. I found this roll. This was brand new. I pulled the tag off and I started to use it. And this masking tape is the strongest masking tape I ever did find. So for now, it's actually just taped together, but I kind of love that, again, at the bins, you never know what you're going to find. I grab all of the tape. I grab all of the glue, all of the markers. We're going to the bins tomorrow, so hopefully the bin gods will be with me. Hey, Mom, how are you? So Tara, I mean, I Five Below is in a lot of states. I went online today to try and see if you can order them online, but it was just having me do pickup at my local store. So this is this my challenge that I kind of gave to myself. You know, a lot of people follow like Junk Journal January, Junk Journal July, and they follow a certain set of prompts because we're staying in a house only for a few months and then we're moving after spring break. I really am limited in the supplies that I have on hand, but I still keep getting supplies, either, like I said, at the thrift stores or sometimes at library book sales. And every now and then at the little free libraries, I'll trade out my kids' books and grab a couple vintage books, especially the little golden books or books that are falling apart that nobody really wants. And this, I found two of these. So I found one that's American Quilts and I found one that was Paisley. And check it out, guys. It is wrapping paper, vintage wrapping paper, and it's in a perforated book. Okay, so this one, some of the pages have already been taken out. This one is quilts, and unless I sell it today, that one's probably going to be my next junk journal. But this one is Paisley, and I cut it in half, so this was the same book, and then I used the book cover and the papers to kind of create a theme. And again, I knew I wanted to use these Paisley papers, but I also wanted to stick with a theme. So you'll see it's very feminine, but each of the signatures is about a specific person. Now, loosely, but you'll see. So there are 5 signatures. And the first signature, here's my notes. So here's another tip. Sometimes I just grab papers out of those books, like I said. So the first one was Emily Dickinson, and I researched. She lived from 1830 to 1886. That means that she would have lived through the Civil War. I didn't realize until I started researching that she lived in Massachusetts. So the reason I chose Emily Dickinson is because I had this book of quotes. And so I went through the book of quotes and I found 5 different women. And then I researched each of those women. So I had so much fun teaching myself history and art and poetry. So Eleanor Farihon, and then there's a couple that I didn't research yet. So Willa is not the start of a signature. She just is the backside of the signature. The start of the signatures are all close to the Paisley paper. So again, Marie Curie, I almost did her, but instead I switched to, where's Harriet? Sometimes it can be hard to see the back and the front. So I'm going to start this one in just a second. Let me find, here it is. There's the third person, Harriet Tubman. The fourth person is, actually the fifth person, Anne Lamott. And then there's one more inside here. So let me go ahead and get this one going. This is a chunker, you guys. This is a chunker. But I've only been working on it actually for the last couple weeks. So this one does have a $10 start. I'm going to talk to you about it for the next 5 minutes, and then a few of the things that I'm going to sell at the end of the show are items that I use to create this journal. So as we said, Paisley, And at the end of the 5 minutes, I'll tell you where I sourced this fabric. If you want to make a guess in the comments, please do. I'm curious to see if anybody knows just by looking at it where I maybe got that. And I actually kept it like a pocket, so you can put something there too. Definitely see room for more there. Love this vintage doily. And like I said, I really challenged myself to use all the scraps, every single scrap that was like quarter size or bigger, I included somewhere in this book. So a lot of rough images and a lot of mix of old and new. So some of it is brand new, but when you choose a color theme, this is me, that's from a jelly plate. I just started experimenting with jelly plate. This is from a book that said William Shakespeare. Even the tiniest little pieces I included. And then the edging, inside the book, when you tear all the pieces out, there's a little perforated edging. I included all of that. So little flip ups and lots of collage work. But again, this one was Emily Dickinson. So you can see I tried to grab some of the pages from history books and interiors books that I have that would have been of that same time period. And in so doing, I think, it's therapeutic, it's cathartic, it's interesting, it's engaging. So here, I've been inspired to try and I haven't seen anyone use these yet. Do you recognize what this is? I love the texture. I'm located in Los Angeles, so I have great bins and lots of thrift stores, lots of resources. This is those old photo albums that have the plastic page, but the plastic page has been removed, and you can see all of that foxing. I didn't use any ink on any of these pages. Um, and so anything that you see, this is from the end of a piano roll box, turned it into a little pocket, lots of art books. I have a great place that I usually go on Saturday mornings to get art books. She usually only charges $1, sometimes 50 cents. This is a kid's book, but pulling some of those pink. This one is a ledger that I actually got on vacation over the winter. I found 3 giant ledger books, plea of guilty. So these were from the courthouse ledgers, poetry, and then poetry here, map of the United States, a dictionary page ledger, so many gorgeous papers in here, you guys. A little bit of um, collage work here. This was a fun book that is a printout all about collectible napkin rings. So somebody had printed a book, and so you can see that the Xerox pages have their own patina to them. All right, and just kind of quickly flipping through, you get the idea, experimenting with coffee dye and trying to pull colors together. The blue from over here that was from the ink on the page already ties to, and then using all these scraps to help reinforce some of the pages that are a little bit more brittle. Not too many current pages, just this one, maybe 2 magazine pages. The rest of it is all from vintage books. So that's the first one on Emily Dickinson. And then this next one, Eleanor Farihone, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce her last name. I learned after researching that she is the woman that wrote Morning Has Broken. And I have all these songbooks. So I looked in the index and I found a page. There she is, Eleanor Farihone. And little book of Proverbs from one of those tiny little Bibles. See those at the bins all the time. This blue paper I found a whole box of. And check it out, guys. Again, keeping with that theme of teachers and teacher supplies and back in the day, carbon paper. So I'm going to go ahead and run this now. Excuse me, I'll run it right after. There's 49 seconds left, but I do want to show you a little bit more of that. So these are the pages that came off of the mimeograph. And then this is what you would bid on when I start running it. So these are fine. These, I tested them. The ink doesn't come off. They're just vintage. It's almost like a tissue paper. It's a beautiful blue with a nice, again, patina around the edge just from being in the box. And then these I did test. So this blue will come off onto whatever you put underneath it. So you put a piece of paper underneath it. You can scratch or write or draw. Or if you have a mimeograph machine, you can make a ditto. Remember dittos? But then this one, I haven't tried or experimented with this one yet. So if anybody wants a couple carbon paper then that's what I'm going to run next. And it'll take me just a second to look back through the comments. So if you type in Goodwill Outlet, that's the best way to find bins. Obviously, you know, it depends on the Goodwill near you. So you would get the Lindsay, you'll get this one, okay, which includes the light blue that I've used all throughout this journal. Not light, it's actually a dark blue, but it's lighter than the other one, okay? And I'll throw in some of the, so it's right here. I'll throw in a couple scraps of that chindi fabric in blue as well for you, okay? I always pad the boxes, guys, with a little bit of extra. And then, this woman lived at the same time as Claude Monet, so I just thought it was interesting to kind of look at these art books and think about, oh, you know, I wonder what kinds of things were in the news, you know, and then all the different wars and things that came to mind when I again was researching these. I think, and it's not like I'm not saying I'm doing serious like thesis research. I'm just curious, you know, and I think it's a healthy habit. This one is the same size and shape. If you were in my last junk journal show, this is what I used to create that last junk journal. So if anybody would like this really great folio, I will try to find a box big enough to ship it to you in. It's only $1. You can add it to your bundle, but you would have to go to my YouTube page and you can see the one that I did. I basically took it and turned it inside out and upside down and used it this way, and this actually will come off if you want it to. So anyway, again, repurposing every single part of each of these different art books, history books, atlases, maps. So that's the one that's running now. I did have one person ask, you know, since it's not easy to find. And then next I'll run, so these are just half sheets, because those books had a tremendous amount of wrapping paper. So I believe it's 5 different prints, actually 6 different prints, and it's a half sheet. So it's that much. Let's see, this is not quite 8 by 10 times 2. If you want to try and do that math, let me run some paisley papers. So this is the 6 half sheets for $1. If anybody wants to continue with the paisley theme and try and do one of their own. Okay, Lindsay's going to take those home. I think those are great. And then right after that, I will also run, these are the gorgeous like double wide sheets. So those are a little bit, the ones that Lindsay just got are a little bit smaller than the half sheet because I cut them to size. So this is the full sheet, guys. It's really hard for me to show on camera, but you can see this is times 4. So this, I think it's like 10 by 12 times 4. 5 full sheets of paisley wrapping paper. Vintage paisley wrapping paper. Beautiful colors and prints. And colors I would never put together. That's part of what I challenge myself to do as well. Like if I were to go into Paper Source right now, I would never buy this paper to wrap a gift in. But I love grabbing when it's free, of course, or when it's, you know, discounted down to pennies. And this one I didn't use, guys. Oh my gosh, all those purples. I didn't see this one. All right, Lindsay's going to take those home. And I used 5 different sheets, a tiny bit of scrapbook paper just to reinforce things since all of these pages are really thin and older. They tend to fall apart. So every now and then using a little bit of scrapbook paper is good. Tabs, tucks. Look at this. So all of these great textures, kind of putting all of them together. So this one that's next is Elizabeth Bibesco. She said, "Blessed are those who give out remembering and take without forgetting." And she was the daughter of the prime minister when World War I started. Random, right? Never heard of her before, but that quote had me researching her, and it turns out that she did this whole um, John Singer Sargent, who is a artist that I was mildly familiar with, but I looked into him a little bit more. Anyway, she did, what's that called? Like an exhibition of his work, and included some stamps here. So I'm going to run this one again just in case anybody's changed their mind. It is a $10 start, and after that I'll run the little golden books and a couple of the others. So let me see if I can find it. And the quilt. Here it is. All right, so this time I'm just going to run it for a minute so that I can tell you about Elizabeth and show you a little bit more. And then, hi Abstractory, how are you? I'm doing a little bit of show and tell and running a 5 signature junk journal that I made. So this one does have some stamps, and those stamps come off pretty easily. And then again, period clothing here, using some texture. This is actually replica parchment paper, but I loved its texture. I didn't like the content, so I just flipped it over. But here's some World War I history that I included, some of my own coffee dye, children's books, somebody's handwriting on print. This is a really old piece of tissue paper that I had, reusing all of the little edges and scraps. And again, just creating tucks and belly bands, practicing all of the different techniques that I see on YouTube. Okay, fold outs. There's the carbon paper again. So here, this one is by John Singer Sargent. So this woman, painted by John Singer Sargent, which again goes back to the theme. So of this woman, Elizabeth, who did that study of him. And then I found a page that had Elizabeth in handwriting, so I included that. This I actually took off of my packaging that I received today. Okay, use the corner rounder and tuck it in and all of this stuff. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, let me pull up. So these, I wanted to show you that I grabbed little golden journals, and I have not started to create a little golden journal book yet, kind of saving, but whenever I see them, I managed to find a library sale where they were, I don't know, it was like five books for $1. So I grabbed all the little golden books that they had. And I thought that these are good for practice, if nothing else. You know, if you want to practice taking the edging off, or if you just want to, you might have somebody that loves bubble guppies. I don't know. And then Just a Bad Day. So I thought this was not a bad idea. Yes, I'll show the Blue Moth Journal next for sure. So this one has one sticker there, but otherwise seems to be brand new. And I've watched quite a few YouTube videos on, this one is crisp and clean, you guys, on how to take junk journals apart. And there's a lot of viewpoints on whether to keep the spine, not junk journals, little golden books apart, and whether to keep the spine or not. This one has a little bit more wear. Okay, so you can see one of the things to make note of is whether or not it's cracked on the side there or not. Okay. So these are good for practice. I'll have those from now on in all of my shows, just if anybody needs a couple for practice. And then let's see, I had a request to show the Moth Journal. Let me pull that up. Again, this is one that I found junking. That was at the thrift store. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's great. It's off of Amazon. So this brand, I try not to support Amazon too much with my purchases, but if I see it at the thrift store, I will. I don't know if it's probably pleather, but there's the moths. Here's the closure. And then the papers inside are definitely a handmade paper. So whether you use it as is or take those signatures apart, I bought it thinking I would maybe take the signatures apart. I just I'm into tinkering and taking all the books apart. But this one is in the buy it now. Let me pin it. And actually I wanted to experiment with flash sale. There you go. Just reduce the price. When did they start doing flash sales, guys? Like, when did that become a feature? There you go. Somebody grabbed it. Fading Away grabbed it. Good job. Thank you for requesting it. Always happy to drop prices for people that are in the shows. You're more than welcome. These are also in the Buy It Now, I think. I sold these in the last show, and they're brand new. So it was a brand new package of, I opened it on camera, brand new package of these kind of candy color library cards. And there's 6 colors. You get 2 of each. I had it at 4, but I wanted to practice that flash sale earlier. So let me run it as a flash sale. Ooh, flash sale length. Do it for a full minute. Thank you for letting me experiment with those. So if anybody wants to grab some of the candy colored library cards, these are great to go in little golden book junk journals. They're really bright. I mean, you separate them out and the orange are nice for fall. Hi, welcome in, guys. Oh, yay, raid! Dress, thank you for the raid. I'm going to quick type in another giveaway. I've got a little flash sale going on these. I've been showing my junk journal. There's a little bit of everything, keeping an eye on the time. I still have another 20 some minutes, so let me quick add another paper clip. Raid! Everybody please go follow Draz. I'm not sure if I'm following you, Draz. Let me make sure I'm following you too right after I get this giveaway going. In your honor. Everybody loves a double raid. Oh, why won't it let me? It's taking forever. And I hate that. Like, it's going to say Funko, guys, because that's the one at the top. Loading, shipping. They make it so difficult sometimes. All right. It's a paper clip. But it's a jumbo paper clip. And they're really cool. And then you'll get discounted shipping. Okay, so confirm. Where did I put my jumbo paper clip? Put it in the sold pile. You gotta trust me. I have a dozen of them or so. I'm not sure I'm ready to get rid of all of them yet, though. There we go. Paperclip going. Flash sale going. Junk journal in front of me that I can run again for our new friends. But before I do, let me show the recipe cards. No, Retired Kathy, Penguin Boss is next. I'm not sure if she's last or if there's somebody after her. If Abstractory is still here, she can maybe tell us. Where are my recipe cards? There they are. Okay, just $1 and all handwritten, and all of that is natural patina. Okay, I love collecting recipe cards, and so these were a few that I was willing to part with, guys. 20 seconds on the clock, $1 start, brownies, 1 hour rolls, rice salad, squash casserole, banana split cake, easy coconut cake, meringue kisses, cards beans, custard, somebody's pecan pie, $300 fudge, and then this one is a bonus because it's not handwritten. So there's a baker's dozen. All right, Tara's adding that to her bundle. Thank you very much. Somebody grabbed these 2 books already. I'm not sure if you're still here, but that was a great deal in the bin. So I'm going to always grab Mary Engelbright whenever I see her, just because I know there are so many people that are collectors. So I grabbed that and usually put that in the bin. And then because we were talking about Emily Dickinson and poetry and women that inspire us, I did grab a copy of Amanda Gorman's book, The Hill We Climb. I think that one's also in the Buy It Now, or it was. There it is. Let me pin that. Okay, The Hill We Climb. It's the inaugural poem. $15.99 at Barnes & Noble, but otherwise it's a nice clean copy, either to inspire you or to turn into your next junk journal. Okay, and All right, library cards are still there. Auction. Is there anything that I haven't run yet or that you want me to rerun? Oh, stamp pages, and then those. So I have a whole stamp book, and I'm slowly using the pages. Oop, there's one more card, broccoli souffle. Um, so this one is, these purples would be gorgeous with that paisley paper. So United States has quite a few stamps on front and back, and these come off pretty easily. Okay, because they have, I don't know if you know about that little, it has a name, I forget what it's called. But these do come off easily. You don't have to soak them or anything when you buy them, when you can find an old album. And then these two pages, Haiti and China, do not have any stamps attached, but they do have a nice patina to them. So anyway, 3 pages and about a dozen stamps for $1 for anybody that's already got a bundle going and wants to add. Yes, Lindsay, I can run more of those blue pages for sure. Let me. Okay, let me run more of the blue pages. So, blue carbon paper. I'm not sure how many I have, but I know I have at least enough to do 3 more. Sorry, my typing skills tonight are not great. Usually they are. Actually took typing in high school, and get this, my typing instructor's name was Mr. Keys. All right, let's see if I did that right. Blue carbon paper, starting the auction, and I'm not sure where I moved the box to, but for those of you that saw it earlier, I'm running it again. All right, oh, here it is. Okay, so carbon paper. I used it in this journal, and I loved it. It's got a really nice weight, so it's like tissue paper. Okay, so those pages are the ones that I'm going to keep, but you'll get 2 of these. So it includes the plastic page, which probably can be repurposed, but has the blue ink, and then the blue tissue paper page, a white kind of wax paper page, and then the blue paper page. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces to it, but this one you wouldn't want to put in the journal. You would want to use that to create blue marks, but you'll get 2 of these. 2 of these. Let me do it again. Okay, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's like a dozen, maybe 2 dozen still. So I'll count them later and run them again in my next auction, but I can do it 2 more times. So look for these old office supplies, guys, whenever you're at the thrift store. Think outside the carbon paper box. All right, while that one is running, I'm just going to show a few more pages of this junk journal. We didn't get to Harriet Tubman yet, so Harriet Tubman inspired this next signature because I repurposed this book that included this quote from her. If you hear the dogs, keep going. If you see the torches in the woods, keep going. If they're shouting after you, keep going. Don't ever stop, keep going. If you want the taste of freedom, keep going. And look at these colors, the pink, the green, the yellow, the blue, the red. That's why I wanted to combine them with these paisley papers. I think I started to say it, but then got distracted. Just going to do this one for 20 seconds. I'll do the carbon paper one more time if somebody still needs 2 more. That I'm really just trying to use everything that I have already collected and put it together. So I'm not necessarily choosing a theme. Rather, I'm letting the materials, the papers, kind of guide me, the colors. The carbon paper I just found this week. I just added these pages in yesterday, day before. And then that rug, tying it in there, a light left on. I thought that was good. thinking about the Underground Railroad and poetry, and just really kind of, like I said, drawing all kinds of themes together, putting old papers with new papers. All right. Does anybody still need carbon paper? Otherwise, let me show you the vintage leather covers. So the World War One book that I told you I took apart. This is the book that I took apart. I believe it was already falling apart. I'm not sure. I always look the books up. I actually had one that I was about to put in this show, and then when I went to look it up, it most recently sold for like $50, just the book itself on eBay. So I try to sell them on eBay first for more junk journal funds money. This one is very much falling apart. Okay, so the little pieces of leather on the edge are coming off, but some people really love. This is true. This is like a nice calf or lambskin leather. It's really soft and a good quality book cloth. I'm sorry I don't have the copyright anymore, but I'm sure that the book is close to antique, if not antique. And then when I took it apart, I left this one signature in. Okay, so there's the back. You can take that signature out, but I thought it was nice. Those papers are the silky ones. A lot of these old textbooks and old history books have these really silky pages. This is just the index. So it's an index to the history of war. The pages themselves were not that great or interesting, but the journal or the book boards are. I just have plenty. And like I said, this one is kind of shedding. Okay, so I'm willing to part with this one. I have others that I can keep. And almost as like a little thank you for all of my junk journal friends. And, you know, I really am thankful to have found this creative outlet. I'm at a point in my life where I do need to be able to be creative, to do something fun, to do something with my hands. And I love that it combines my love of history, art, recycling, repurposing, thrifting. Junk journaling is the bee's knees. And so, retired Kathy, I will wrap those in tissue paper and they will come to you. All right. Next, I will maybe do a YouTube specific flip through of this junk journal and then talk about who Anne Lamott was and show the last signature, unless there's a very specific request to do that. I think we've looked at that one quite enough. And therefore, if anybody would like this one, this would maybe be my next project. I'm not sure, but look at this again, you guys. So this is the quilts wrapping paper. There's the first few pages that can be used to describe the quilts, but there's a lot of pages. One, that are still full. Two, this one has been started, but you can see it's partially used. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, look at those colors. 8, 9. Love this one. 10, 11. This one's been cut apart a little bit already, as has the one after it and that one. So 11 full, four rectangle sheets, and then there was a partial sheet. So 1, 2, 3, 4 partial sheets. So 15 sheets left, and each sheet that you tear out is 4 times the size of this book. That plus this book. Trying to put it together for you guys. Look at this. This is called Sunbonnet. There's 126 designs in here, and they're quilting designs. Look at how cute these are. Look at how cute these little quilt template kiddos are. It's similar in texture to a coloring book. Has the patina. There's a couple of glossy pages too, and some instructions, and then these little ones. And I think these two just go together great. So if anybody's feeling inspired, it's a little bit higher start, but I think it's worth it. This book alone, you know, somebody's trying to get, there are 3 people that have it listed on eBay for $15 or more. Yay, Lindsay, I can't wait to see what you do with it. If you would please send me pictures or I mean, gosh, this wrapping paper is frame worthy. I didn't look to see whether or not you could actually scan it and include it. I'm not really creating digitals yet. I haven't kind of unlocked the key to doing that. But I feel like you could scan these in and perhaps make digitals out of them. I don't know. You have to think about the copyrights and such. But some of these, I mean, the quilts that are from the 1850s, I think you can scan those. Think you can scan those. So that is, makes me happy that that's going to somebody because, like I said, I grab it when I see it, but I have too much stuff. I can't make all of these junk journals. I can't make all of them. All right, does anybody need two little golden books just to have some pages and book covers and spines, 2 for $1 running now? We've got another 12 minutes, so I'm going to reveal my secret. And check my stash over here, see if there's anything else. Oh, there's the jumbo paper clip. Who won the second jumbo paper clip? I didn't see. Here's the jumbo paper clip, guys. I was distracted. Okay, no luck with those. That's okay. Thank you for looking. Just wanted to make sure. All right, folio. Oh, yay, retired Kathy did. Awesome. And carbon paper, I have one left listed. If anybody else still needs carbon paper, otherwise, let's talk a little bit about what this was and what it's become. Did anybody guess dress? Retired Kathy is going to get some carbon paper. Did anybody guess doll's dress? So, there's not a lot of it left, but you can see at the bins was one of those really weird looking porcelain dolls, right? And it had this dress on it, and it was a little rough around the edges, a little bit dirty. I took the dress off of the doll. I didn't want the doll. I wanted the dress. And when it's at the bins, that means it's already had a chance to be sold regular price. Nobody wanted that doll, but I wanted the dress. So I took the dress off and then I washed it, and I have been tearing it apart lovingly to create all of these great little pieces. So this one is here. This is a pocket that I created. And then look, it comes apart so easily because it's old. So, but it tends to pull apart down the seams and down the edging. And so let's see if I can find a piece. Oh my gosh, this one was so cool too. I didn't get a chance to show you. That's an Ann signature. These sample threads from that sample book. Here's one. Oh, this is another tip. I often have a playing card nearby, and if I'm gluing things, so like there's just a little piece that I glued there, but then here's a longer piece that I glued here. I mean, I've gotten dozens of pieces of lace, and then here I made a whole back pocket. Okay, whole back pocket here, and I don't mind that it's kind of coming up. That's kind of the idea. Oh, this one includes this too. This is one of those. It's a sample turned into a clipboard, but it's textured on the back side. There's a lot of goodies in this, guys. Going to run it one last time before we head over to Penguin. And Penguin has a great show lined up. So if she's on early, I don't mind rating her a couple minutes early. We'll see. Oh, there's Penguin. She's right there. Hi, Maria. How are you? So yes, guys, next time you're out thrifting, grab the doll clothes off of the doll and tear them apart and have so much fun doing it because the folio sold already. I think I sold the folio. Oh wait, no. I know which one you're talking about. The big one. Sorry. The first thing that I showed was a handmade folio. All right, so let me take this one, and I have somebody in mind that I maybe can share that one with. I think you're talking about this one, right? And I might still have some of the pages. I'll look and see if I have some of the pages of his artwork, Murillo. If so, if I can find them, I'm happy to include them. Not everything is easily found. Handcraft Love, happy to send that to you. If you haven't, I'm not sure if you were in my last show. If you weren't in my last show, head to my YouTube page, type in Tara E. Casas. It's the same name on all platforms. I'm not very active on Instagram um, or YouTube, except that I take my Whatnot shows, and that's where you can rewatch them. But I had an entire folio junk journal that I did with this, and it's a nice thick quality. So really thinking outside of the just because it's within reach box. So I'm still working on this one. I took this pasta box, and I don't think I showed you guys this one yet. Did I? Maybe I did. I don't think I did. These are all the pieces that I'm still going to add to it. Check it out. This is the journal that I'm working on for one of my son's teachers. And so it has a lot of teacher ephemera and school, but also original antique ephemera as well. Oh, good, Handcraft Love. Yes, if you comment on my video, then I'll remember to go and follow you as well. I'm sure that'd be great. Whenever I'm crafting, I usually have YouTube on in the background. This one I'm going to have to take the time to feed through, but yeah. So this is another one that I've been working on. It's got a little bit more sewing and feminine, and certainly there's the recipe card, bingo card. Does anybody have any questions, compliments, complaints? Feel free to drop a tip in the tip jar, guys. It all goes towards, oh, there's that lace. So look, just take a regular old paper clip and tie a piece of doll's lace on it, and voila, you've got a embellished paper clip. Okay. Yay, Lindsay, I'm so happy for you. I'm excited. I love sharing this stuff. Ooh, caramel brownies. This cracks me up. Caramel. Do you guys say caramel or caramel? Caramel is the city. Caramel is the sweet treat. But caramel brownies is the way that she wrote it back in the day. All right, let's see if our friend Penguin is live yet. If she is, we'll rate her early. If not, that's okay. I'm happy to do a little bit more flip through. Clicking, clicking, clicking. Don't want to lose you guys before. All right, let's do another. Oh, you know what? I didn't. So what do you want, chat? Do you want to flip through this one, or should we do the last signature of the boho one? So boho or teacher? Boho or teacher? How about teacher because it's in front of me? Boho. Teacher, sounds good. All right, so let me show you. I took this box and I wanted to keep the window, but then I kind of struggled with it. So the plastic window came out, but I also wanted to experiment with this idea of having a closure on the side. Okay, so I did keep this side here, and when I pulled this one back through, you'll see that it basically ties. And I had some of this scrapbook paper that I wanted to use that was pink and red, so I took some gesso and gessoed over the top of it. That's a rub. Here's another piece of that lace off of the doll. Some doilies that I coffee dyed after the fact because this was all too bright. So I just took coffee dye and gesso and went over the top of it to kind of give it this. I like, since it's going to a teacher, that it has a chalky look to it. This is a vintage embroidery thread that I found at this great place that I go to that is all reuse. It's a repurposed store, so it's all art supplies, but look, I left it as is, and I kind of tied the signature together so that it looks like a little package. I have a button that I still need to add here. Sorry, I'm off camera. I have a button that I'm going to add here, but otherwise the vintage playing card. Yeah, grade school teacher. So she teaches second grade. My son is in second grade. And so this signature, since it's already closed up, I'll leave it that way since we only have a minute. But Hansel and Gretel there. And then some, and I don't know that she knows about junk journaling. So look at this. Look at this report card and that beautiful handwriting. Love it, love it, love it. And then the dictionary page on the other side said teacher. There's a little doodle. This page is as it was found. And then there's me coffee dyeing paper, the caramel brownies, a guest check, little piece of stationery. I like to use the index pages. This is from a recipe book, so you can see sweet and sour, Tabasco, all kinds of stuff. Fold the papers in. This again, this is from an older book that has those silky pages. I think there's a little something that I have tucked in there. And then she just holds this closed. There's scrapbook paper again. And that's an actual vintage postcard from so 1912. Use all the scraps. This is from a Starbucks. You turn the insulating cardboard around. This is from Mother Goose. I used a lot of Mother Goose stuff when we had the Mother Goose raid train. I started to look for that and then included some of that. Coupons, or tickets rather. That's a natural patina from being sun-dyed. Thank you, Abstractory. If you guys aren't already following Abstractory, please do. And then my new friend Printycorn, who rated me. And then Penguin Boss is where we're headed next. There's that vintage ledger, and then this is not quite a paperclip, but this was me experimenting with that. If you look deep inside, you see that it's Starbucks, but see it kind of folds over the page like a paperclip. Three little pigs. Her name starts with an A. This is piano roll paper. I should have included that in the blue one. This, that, and the other. So, oh, and then flipping down and out and around. All kinds of good stuff, guys. All kinds of good stuff. So I hope she loves it. If not, that's okay. I loved making it for her. I know I want to do demos on YouTube. The first thing that I'm going to try and do is film myself doing the flip throughs where I don't have to also look at the comments, because that does make it more challenging sometimes. But I've got to get my camera angle down because I haven't quite figured out how to get as much of the journal in the view as possible without also having everything around it. I don't know. It seems more complicated than it probably is. Crafters Outputs. That's great. If you click on mine, Tara E. Casas, and leave a comment, then obviously I'll follow back anybody that leaves a comment on my YouTubes. All right, 6:59:56 on the dot. Let's go ahead and raid. Thank you everybody for joining me tonight and for sitting with me, going through my journals and buying a few junk journal supplies. I really enjoy this craft and I hope you do too. Let's go get some more good junky junk from Penguin Boss.